I want to discuss the last Fox debate in which a gay soldier got up at the debate on video and asked whether or not, as president, you would reinstate Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Here's what you said to him.
Any type of sexual activity has absolutely no place in the military, and the fact that they're making a point to include it as a provision within the military that we are going to recognize a group of people and give them a special privilege in removing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I think tries to inject social policy into the military.
Senator, you say sexual activity has no place in the military. Heterosexuals have been openly heterosexual for centuries in the military without any problems, and you talk about gays not being given, or that they shouldn't be given special privilege. All that Don't Ask, Don't Tell and the repeal of it does is say that they are given the same rights as everybody else has had for forever.
Well, the problem is that sexual activity with people who you are in close quarters with and who happen to be the same sex is different than having a discussion and being open about your sexual activity where you're not in that same situation. So you're talking about injecting, as I said before.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think that homosexual gay soldiers are going to sit there and go after their male counterparts in the barracks?
I didn't suggest that.
Well, you said they're in close activity, close proximity.
They're in close quarters. They live with people. They obviously shower with people. The whole kinds of all the things that are involved in living in a barracks or living out in the field. Those are issues that, again, some people. You're not talking about that individual person, but you're talking about the ability for people to be able to have that unit cohesion, to be able to work together in an efficient fighting way, and obviously, and also, by the way, the effect on retention and recruitment of people to live in that environment. And yes, there are people who would feel uncomfortable in that environment, and as a result, it could hurt our ability to retain and recruit and to put the best fighting force in place.
Senator,
as I said before, Chris,
Senator, if I may follow up, because we really are running out of time, and it's continuing on this conversation. You say don't inject social policy into the military. Their job is to fight and defend, and they're not a social experiment. I want to put up a quote for you. The Army is not a sociological laboratory. Experimenting with Army policy, especially in a time of war, would pose a danger to efficiency, discipline, and morale, and would result in ultimate defeat. Does that sound about right, sir?
Roughly, yes.
That's a quote from Colonel Eugene Householder, who was in the Army Adjutant General's office in 1941, arguing against racial integration of the military.
Yeah, I figured. I've heard similar quotes. It's very different. I mean, we're talking about people who are simply different because of the color of their skin, not because of activities that would cause problems for people living in those close quarters.
Senator,
it's a very different
Colonel
thing,
Householder, and I read his
Senator,
I read Colonel Householder's comments yesterday. Everything that you said, living in close proximity, sharing bunks and showers, being in close proximity, he used exactly the same arguments you used to argue against racial integration of the military in the 1940s.
Yeah, I understand that, and I know the whole gay community is trying to make this the new Civil Rights Act. It's not. It's not the same. You are black by the color of your skin. You are not homosexual necessarily by obviously by the color of your skin or anything else.
No, but you are by.
It's by a variety of.
I mean, it is a fact of your biology. It is a fact of your biology. Obviously, it's one thing if somebody, is coming on to somebody in a room, but the sheer fact that somebody is a homosexual, you're saying, I mean, these are all volunteers. They're all defending to protect our country, sir.
That's exactly the point, Chris. They are all volunteers, and they don't have to join in a place where they don't feel comfortable serving with people because of that issue, and that's the problem, Chris. And look, the idea that somehow or another that this is the equivalent, that being black and being gay is the same is simply not true. There are all sorts of studies out there that suggest just the contrary, and there are people who were gay and lived the gay lifestyle and aren't anymore. I don't know if that's the similar situation. I don't think that's the case with anybody that's black. So it's not the same, and I know people try to make it the same, but it is not. It is a behavioral issue as opposed to a color of the skin issue, and that makes it all the difference when it comes to serving in the military.